from it. It's only a loss if you ain't learned nothing from it. I turned to a boss, remember I was under budget. Now I pay the staff off.
It's week 18 of the NFL, and we'll get a look here at wideout A.J. Brown. He's putting together one of the better seasons in league history. It's the Eagles and the Lions, and it's coming up next on EA Sports.
It's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. It's all about divisional season, and we've got a compelling one in store here, as it'll be the Detroit Lions taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. It's been a good season for them so far. They're just looking to keep that momentum going forward.
They like their record. Now they want to increase it. A win here could really get the momentum going in the right direction.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2-0.
Help me make money.
What I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of Michigan State. The former Spartan, it's Kirk Cousins.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him to win. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. Going back to Gibbs on first down. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. James Bradbury there to make the tackle. You look at this Eagle defense. It's quite a unit, that's for sure. Number 1 in the NFL against the pass.
Take those rankings, throw them right out the window because this is what you prepare for. This is what you practice for. This is what you think about. The ultimate
Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Providing a little deja vu, back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long. Here's Jack Fox on to punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. This is taken at the 23. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Philly's offense getting ready, and Jalen Hurts ready to lead them. The 2nd-round pick who started his career at Alabama, then finished with an electric senior season at Oklahoma.
And he just continues to throw touchdown pass after touchdown pass, leading the league here down the final stretch of the year. Guys will say that the numbers and the rankings, they don't matter to him very much. But I don't know how much I actually believe that. Sure, he's team first, but I think everyone would like to see him finish number 1.
And this is caught at the 20. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Great effort there. His 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Eagles get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big streak like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Elliott going to PAT. It's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25.
Back onto the field come the Lions for their second overall drive.
As we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
Second down, and they go back to Gibbs. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with third and about 6 yards to go.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Play fake, Cousins. And that is incomplete.
Turns out to the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get on track in this one.
On fourth down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit.
And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And we'll see what he can do on the return. And running with power here.
And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10.
The Eagles offense making their way back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC.
Well, we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position #1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours and camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
Right back to Swift again on second down. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43.
14 yards there and an Eagle first down.
A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
On 1st and 10, it's Swift.
Shedding the tackle that gives him some room. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20.
Now hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up.
And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back.
They go play action with Hurts.
This is caught, and he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice game there. This one goes for 20. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Now second quarter action from Philadelphia, and it's the Eagles in possession as they go to work on a 1st and goal. Swift is into the end zone. Touchdown Philadelphia. So the toss play effective even down here near the goal line.
Yeah, and you're hoping the defense commits too many men to stop the run in the middle of the field and that your blockers can gain a little bit of an advantage. And when they do, foot race to the pylon, and this time he had the speed to win that race.
Elliott on for the extra point.
And it's good to make it 14-0.
So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the shotgun, it's Cousins.
That throw taken in by Jamison Williams.
And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. Cousins now to throw on 1st down. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack.
That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Under pressure, they got him again.
Nolan Smith brings him down on the pass rush.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum?
I think we're seeing it right here.
There's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago. And another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
Now on 3rd down, that pass laid down.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far. Offensively, or even defensively for that matter. They can use a big-time spark somewhere. But it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away.
Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback.
Well, let's shine the spotlight on the former Georgia Bulldog, DeAndre Swift, who's set to begin this next drive.
Pretty solid on that last drive. Yardage good, 4 carries, and it all culminated with that 1-yard touchdown run.
And believe it or not, I try to further my football education all the time, so I was reading a book about offensive line play, and right out of the first chapter, the word leverage. That's what jumped up. Low man wins. Who gets off the ball faster, creates that space for the runner, and that's exactly what they did.
Especially on that 1-yard push into the end zone that finished off that last drive.
And let's see if they can continue with that leverage on this drive.
He's going deep for Brown. And got his man complete. Touchdown.
Is anyone there? Help me make money.
Tying him at Smith for the 5th most in one season.
And the Eagles are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
Elliott now to add the extra point. And it is now 21. Strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And he'll very wisely take a knee here as they'll bring this one out to the 25 on the touchback.
Detroit's offense ready to take over. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back.
I fear any Eagles fans out here.
That's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
And They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Play action now. Cousins. Throwing left side, it's complete. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Throwing is Cousins. No, bottle that fumble. It's out, it's loose. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble.
Off the play fake, Cousins. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. He can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first.
Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20.
DeAndre Swift and the Eagles back out there.
And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I have no idea how many yards I have. Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. It's all down to this. Week 18 of the NFL regular season. Lots to be decided, so let's get right to it. We'll begin out in the windy city of Chicago, and it's the Bears who have the lead. A couple of touchdown strikes there from Justin Fields. Next, we head off to check out another game. And you can see, currently they trail in that ball game. A couple of touchdown passes there for Joe Burrow.
This is my best channel.
See what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. And it's the visiting Jets who have the lead in that one. A couple of touchdowns there for Breece Hall. We just watched a fine first half out of the mobile quarterback, that's Jalen Hurts. His 2 touchdown passes helped pave the way for his guys to take this lead into the intermission. Both these teams making their final halftime adjustments. We're just about ready to get back to football. So for the call of the second half, we get back up to Philadelphia and Brandon Gott.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there.
Well, here we sit, Week 17. Just one more week in the regular season after this one. So if you're one of these teams trying to make a move and improve your spot or jump in from the outside, Charles, you better make that move now.
And these final games are often a good barometer for all those teams fighting for position or a wild card spot. They have to be able to get the job done these last 2 weeks before things get even tougher when the playoffs officially begin.
So, CD, here we are. You look at how well this offense has played all year, 16-0. Now, in most years, they'd be at home right now enjoying time off for their perfect season, getting ready for the postseason. But this is the decade of the 2020s, so that means 17 games.
He's got him in, complete.
And he's going to get this down inside the 40 before he's finally ridden out of bounds.
A big play there for Philly.
And even 40 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now a give right side Swift. And he'll go down at the 28.
74 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Oh, he sheds himself free. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Eagles touchdown. DeAndre Swift with career touchdown number 125, moving him into a tie with Walter Payton on the all-time list.
And the Eagles add 6 to their lead.
Elliott on for the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. Just a 4-play drive that time. And a pretty good run there in the end to top it off. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And he'll very wisely take a knee here as they'll bring this one out to the 25 on the touchback. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Now Cousins. Under pressure, and they got to him again. The safety blitz turns out to be a great call defensively as they sack him for a loss of 9.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
On 3rd down, they go Montgomery. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. And he's able to get it out of there. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles' defense.
And now off to the races down the right side. And he's in for the score. His spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
Boy, missed tackles continuing to plague this defense, and they surrender another big play and a touchdown here.
Yeah, by my count, at least 2 guys had shots at it, maybe even more than that. But this defense, they looked out of sorts all game long. That was definitely not one of their better efforts right there.
Elliott now to add the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. So they hit pay dirt on just 1 play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25.
And Detroit getting set to go now.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
And they are going to take possession of the football inside the 15 at the 14-yard line.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him.
Well, let's shine the spotlight on the former Georgia Bulldog, DeAndre Swift, who's set to begin this next drive.
He's had a touchdown for every quarter so far. 3 here in the third, and probably hoping he's not done yet.
And this is a situation where it's okay to be greedy. When you've already scored 3 times, you want 4, you want more than that. And guess what? That only helps your team.
Yeah, so far 3, now in search of 4.
2nd and 7. Once again, it's Swift.
And this carry brought to an end at the 8. Good stick skills, just not much room there to operate.
3rd and 4. They'll run right here with Swift.
And he is into the end zone. And the touchdown record is now all his.
So the moment is finally at hand. What a season, CD. His 29th rushing touchdown of the year. No one in the history of the NFL has had more in a single season. And congratulations to him. What an achievement.
We certainly had the feeling early in the year, maybe week 2 or 3, where we talked to each other and thought this could really turn into something. But I don't know if either of us thought we'd get to this point. Maybe the best season ever by a running back in NFL history.
Elliott good on the extra point, and it is 42-0. And he'll very wisely take a knee here as they'll bring this one out to the 25 on the touchback.
Detroit's offense ready to take over.
And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Here's Cousins. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
Some easy analysis about why they struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack.
The offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally. And he's going to lose yardage here. His time is run out on this 3rd quarter of play. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
On the handoff, this is Swift.
Broken tackle. And some space here. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
185 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ballgame. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
First down, and they go with Swift again.
Still going. They can't stop him.
And this defense just being manhandled here to start the drive. Good push up front. 2 big runs. This one 18 yards and another first.
Every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about running them into submission.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
2nd and 6 with the ball on the 7. They'll stay on the ground with Swift.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown.
DeAndre Swift
with career touchdown number 128. He's now tied with Marvin Harrison for number 9 on the all-time list.
And the Eagles look poised to reach 17-0 as they add on to their lead.
Elliott on for the extra point. And this one was just big lead. So that drive, 4 plays. And in the end, it's capped off by a 7-yard run. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25.
The Lions offense set to take over. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Working out of the gun, Cousins.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. It just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
It's a 45-yard punt and 8 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
They'll start on the ground with Swift to about the 40-yard line.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They'll try and run here with Swift.
And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be given a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space.
Here's a handoff to Swift.
Pushing his way through. And some room to run now. And they'll have it in the red zone before it crosses over out of bounds. That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a first down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
He's still on his feet.
And the Eagles are going to be set up with a first and goal as good running gets him down to about the 4-yard line.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been a bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
Here's Swift.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the first and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run, give it right back to him, and let him cap things off.
Elliott now to add the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just held on to their big lead. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen them.
Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
And they will set up shop with outstanding field position in the red zone at the 17-yard line.
As they say, this game hasn't exactly been one for the books. I mean, we're into the fourth quarter here, and now this happens, another turnover. Not one that they're going to hold up and say, yeah, this has been a banner day.
Absolutely. Still sitting on 0.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. They'll run here with Swift.
And he'll take this one down near the 15. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Now it's Swift.
And they get to him quickly here as he stops right around the 13. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
Here comes 3rd down and 7. Now a carry for Swift.
And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there.
That's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a bunch of points. What an effort.
And, Brandon, I just have to ask you, that's all the stuff that we saw happen today. Those are statistics, numbers, the whole deal. But my question is, how does one team come ready to play, and the other one, obviously, not ready at all?
Well, I mean, I obviously don't have an answer to that, but that was the story from the get-go. One side was awake and ready, and the other just seemed to sleep.
So for Philadelphia,
they finish off a perfect regular season, 17-0.
And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title. Meanwhile, for the Lions,
this loss will mean they finish the season on the wrong side of 500 at 8-9.
And they can take solace in the fact that this team never quit all the way to the end. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
Never leave the house without the pack. Where my at? Take it.